Hello, it's Diane, and I've made 2 more Traveler's Notebook inserts out of magazines. These are both made from Artful Blogging from Somerset Studio. And this one is going to my friend Susan. Susan has sent me lots of things, lots of goodies, racks, and Happy Mail. I guess they're the same thing. But also Susan has been a huge encouragement to me. We were friends before I became a widow, but she's also experienced being a widow, and so she has been very encouraging to me, and we've had you know, long Facebook chats, and I was able to just talk to her about stuff that she understood, and it's been just encouraging to me. We haven't chatted in a while, but I still really appreciate Susan, and I wanted to send this to her to show her that I appreciate her. I didn't put anything around it, but I will tie something around it to excuse me, to hold it closed. This is what the magazine cover looked like. This is where the writing was, and so I covered it up with that gorgeous image of black swans and this image here that I punched out with my I think it's a 2-inch round punch that I just got recently. And I stitched, I gathered up some turquoise fabric and stitched it on the edge here. And then this is just the cover the way it was, and I just glued on the words "A Beautiful Life," and that was just one of the articles titles that was in the book. So on the inside I glued on this piece of paper that says "Home is where the heart is," and I stamped "This book belongs to," made a little pocket here. The journaling cards were made from images within the magazine, and I stitched them to either light colored scrapbook paper that you can journal on, or just plain white paper. So this was just an art journal page that was in the magazine. I love the image on this side. There's green ledger paper, some fabric collage, and I glued things down that you can journal on. This guest check was glued on as a pocket. I stitched on a little trim here and glued on a little vintage Denison floral sticker, and there's a journaling card inside. And we have some lined paper here with some shoes and a purse and a little fabric tab with a little bit of lace. I was thinking I'll never be able to make a snippet roll because I use up all my little snippets on stuff like this. Beautiful images from the magazine with a couple of pieces of fabric stitched along the edge. Just a little half page here with a tab. This is some Kool-Aid dyed paper I had left over from the Easter journals that I did, spring and Easter journals. So since there's a lot of pink in these books, I included some of that pink paper. This was an envelope that was just a little bit too wide. It might have just barely fit, but I just thought it was too close for comfort. So I trimmed off a tiny bit along the edge of the envelope and then stitched it to make it the right size. And then I included 3 images from the magazine, and this was from a woman. She has this blog about houses for mouses, or I forgot what it was called, but she makes these little mice and then poses them in these tableaus and takes pictures of them, and she's done some books too. They're so cute. I think this little caterpillar is a pet. They're just adorable. So they're journaling cards tucked inside and paper clipped to the page. And then on the back of the envelope I put another of the magazine images and then some vintage tickets. This is a bus ticket from the UK that I got from an Etsy seller. I got all of these tickets from Etsy sellers. Gorgeous images here. There's some ledger paper there for journaling. a little sticky note that I glued on. This image I had to include. I just clipped it to the page because I like this quote. "When in Rome, do as you done in Milledgeville," by Flannery O'Connor. And I did some corner stamping on that page. This is from a blank journal that had some illustrations in it. I've had that for a long time. I think I'm getting down to the last pages of that journal. Here's another half page. Oh, I didn't do the hearts. I will do the hearts in the center. And on this side of the page, I adhered a little sheet from a little tablet that I picked up at the Walt Disney World Resort a few years ago. 2 years ago, I guess. Some stamping in the corners. And this one has a glassine bag. And I just glued this image of stacked vintage luggage on the front of that glassine bag. And then inside are two of the images stitched to paper that I just folded in half and then tucked them inside for more journaling. Another fabric tab with a snippet of lace. Some ledger with some washi tape here. I can just smell those peonies just looking at them. I love peonies. There's a little scrap here for journaling and a little vellum envelope with a pink tally card, bridge tally card. Balloons. They kind of look like Easter eggs at first, but they're balloons. There's some journaling here. Another fabric collage. This is a white space that can be written on. So there's Susan's book. This book is going to my friend Julie. I've never met any of these people that I'm sending these journals to, but they are my friends because of their generosity and sweetness and kindness and friendliness in the internet world. On Junk Journal Junkies or on my YouTube channel or on Facebook. I've met them all through this junk journaling adventure, as Wendy calls it. And that's what it is. So this one goes to Julie. She sent me a huge box full of vintage stuff that she'd collected. There's a video on my channel of a huge rack from Julie. And I think it's in at least 2 parts. And it was wonderful stuff that she sent me. And then she also asked me if I would be a pen pal. And so she's just been wonderful, and I have to apologize to her for being such a terrible pen pal. I haven't been very good about being a pen pal. But I want to send this to her, and I'll send her a nice little letter along with it. So here is this Artful Blogging cover. Again, I covered up the writing with these images and stitched some gathered up polka dot fabric, and then put on this title, An Unplanned Story. And it has the same setup as the other book, so we'll go through this a little bit quicker. I just want you to see all the lovely images. This little bit here is a little piece of a vintage handkerchief that had purple stitching around the edge. Again, there's a guest check pocket with a journaling card inside and a vintage flower sticker from Denison. This one has a little bit of pink tulle and velvet ribbon attached to the fabric tab. Some fabric here. Here's the envelope with another Denison sticker and some images for journaling. This one opens up. I think these are ranunculus. I love them too. Let nothing dim the light that shines within. In here we have an art journaling page with a bird on it. And I love this picture. There's just something about it is striking. And I like, oh, I cut this image out from the magazine and just glued it down at the bottom of the glassine bag. I like how when you tuck this in, the bird is looking out at you through the envelope over the heads of those animals. There's another piece of fabric tab with a little piece of lace on it. Another vintage envelope with the pink tally card. I think I said vintage. It's glassine envelope with a vintage tally card. Some fabric here. Pretty images. Okay, so there's Julie's book. So Susan and Julie, and I won't be uploading those as usual until I know that they've received these books. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.